explain the process that the lab takes to enter a new customer or a new asset into LIMS. So when an email is sent to support, it gets sent to multiple people in the lab, but since I'm the first person to see Joel's email, I'm going to open it up and look at the new asset and customer information that he provided. So I opened up the new customer information from Joel. So I'm going to have that go side by side, and then I'm going to log into LIMS. And going to maintenance and customers. So this is going to be a list of all of our current customers. If I click add, I can add any new customer information. So the customer code is a 6-digit code that's based off of the Chempax account number. So the Chempax account number is usually led by 1000, then there are 5 digits in the middle, and 3 zeros at the end. So we're going to drop the 1000 and the 3 zeros. So for this customer, we will use 73241. And the customer name that Joel provided is Rexcom. And Joel Schluter will be the customer contact. There is no distributor that is listed for this customer, so then we're also going to reference the Chempax numbers that they're connected. So 1000, and then it was 7324123. So this contact information is going to be the person that would like to be contacted in regards to the reports. So that is Hank Smith. And if there's a department provided, you can list that in here, but since we didn't get that information, we can just leave that blank. Then you can go on to the contact information, the address, phone number, and email. So, and then for the email address, there's this link here. So you can add as many email accounts as the customer would like the reports to go, and you can also add in the sales rep information so that they can also be included on the reports. So once you have all the customer information added in, we can add in the sales rep information. So in this field, you would add in the sales rep name, and then you would add in their telephone number and their Benz email address. And then since there's no distributor information, this tab will be left blank, but if there was any distributor, we can add that contact information as well. So once you click save, when we scroll down, we can see that this is in red, so there is an approval process. So it's the only customer that's in here, so we're going to hit approve, and then for the reason, we're going to add new customer. That name is approved, and it's not in red anymore. So then to add a new asset, it's basically the same process. We go to maintenance and assets. So in this list is going to be all of the customer assets that we have entered. So to make this a little bit easier for myself, I'm going to add in the new customer ID so that I'm only going to see the assets for that customer. And currently we don't have any, so I'm going to click add, and then the customer ID can either be typed in or we can select that from this drop-down list, and that will populate the customer ID field. So on this list, we were not provided a LIMS customer ID that the sales rep would like added, so we will create our own asset ID for lab internal use. So one of these has a 4-digit code, but one does not. So to keep everything consecutive, I'm going to start with 1001, and then I'm going to type in the asset description, which is going to be in this field right here. And we're going to enter that in exactly as the sales rep provided. Now in this screen, we're not going to do anything with the hours or the date sampled. That's going to be entered when the sample actually arrives to the lab. So in this field, it's going to be another drop down where we select the product, and this is going to be Benz Cool 1300. So in the drop down, Benz Cool 1300, hit select, and then the test set is going to be selected based off of the product. So these are groups of tests that we will associate based off of what the product is. So this is a coolant. There's nothing exceptional testing wise. Some of them will have different tests removed based off of the product because they won't be able to be done. So we will test the coolant test set here. And this will basically assign all of the individual tests, so we can't add individual tests to this asset. So when I click OK, you can see that this asset is now listed in the registered samples. So we'll go and enter in the next sample, and we'll use 1002 because that's going to be the next consecutive number, and fill out the asset description and select the product from the drop down, which is Benz Grind 15. And the test set we'll select is the Benz Grind test set. So this again will add all of the individual tests that are required for this product. If we click OK, and if I slide this over, you can see all of the information is listed in here so that we know everything got added correctly for this customer ID. After everything has been entered into LIMS, we can create a new customer sample kit. So taking the information that was provided, again from the sales rep, I'm going to go in onto the lab drive, and we have a LIMS entering folder. So this is going to be how we create the tags and the asset list for the customer. So in this asset tags folder, I'm going to open up this Excel file, and usually it's going to have information that was provided from the last entry, so I'm just going to delete that information and start filling out the new customer information here. So this customer ID column is going to be the new LIMS number that was created, and the customer name is going to be Rexcom, and we assigned asset 1001 to the first asset, but we can always reference that back in LIMS if you forget which asset numbers we assigned to it. So for the asset ID and the product name. And again, all of this can be referenced off of this sheet, or I can go and reference what I had entered into LIMS prior to this. The next asset I assigned was 1002, and that's going to be the Hoffler Helix 400 grinder. And the product is Benz Grind HP15. So I'm just going to copy and paste that. And then when I click save, I can now close this file, and then we have an Excel file that is going to populate with the asset tag information. So this had a duplicate in here, so we'll just hit delete, and then we can print out this file to create the asset tags for the customer. So the next step is going to be assembling the customer kit that we send to customers. So I have created some stickers that have asset 1001 and asset 1002. In the corners they have the different products that these have and the descriptions for the different assets that Joel provided us. So these stickers get attached to an asset tag, and these are chemical resistant stickers, so they should hold up in the plants. So we'll just put that on here. And then we will provide zip ties for the asset tags so that these can be attached to the different sampling points and used as a reference when people are taking samples. The only information that the customer is actually going to need to know is this 4-digit asset code. So the different pieces of information that are included in the kit are going to be the new sample analysis 3-step package instruction sheet. This is going to explain the different things that are included in the packet and what needs to be done with them. So it explains that you're going to take the tags, attach them with the zip ties, you're going to write the ID and date on a sample label, and send that to the lab. So the stickers that are provided, you'll be able to add the 4-digit asset code from the tag. So the 1001 can be entered into this asset 1001. The sample date can be filled out, and if there are no hours on the oil, then that can be left blank, but there were for asset 1001, so that'll need to be filled out on this spot right here. The next set of information that's also provided to the customer is an explanation of LIMS reports. So this gives a picture of what a LIMS report will look like, along with examples of the different tests that are provided and an explanation of what the tests mean. This will be for both our straight oils and our coolants. Since this customer had a coolant, I'm going to include a how to manage coolant effectively. It's an 11-step program to help explain how they should monitor their systems. And they will get an asset list. So this is just a printed out version of the information that was provided to us so that they can have this on hand when they're labeling their assets. So all of this information will be put into a box with some bottles. And then after sampling is done, the customer can also use the address label that's on the bottom of each sample label sheet. So all of this information will be put into a kit, and then we will mail this to the salesman, and then they can visit their customer and go through the different parts of the kit with them.